Hello everyone, welcome back. It's Cat Air Hunter here, and you are joining me in Madrid. Madrid is a wonderful city with tons of unique things to do. But of course, I know the majority of you will be interested in all the coin-related things I did. So I hope you enjoyed this video documenting my experiences in the bustling Spanish capital. First, we're going to be taking the metro to Banco de España, or the Central Bank of Spain. So I hope you enjoy this little montage of me using the Madrid metro.
Banco de España.
This right here is Palacio de Cibeles, or the Madrid Town Hall, and right across the street is the Banco de España. So you might be wondering why I actually visited the Banco de España, and the reason why is because just a few weeks before, on March 28th, Spain actually released a brand new €2 commemorative coin, and, well, I managed to get a roll of them. So the only way you can actually get these rolls is to go to Banco de España and make an appointment to buy them. There are instructions on the screen right now on how you can make an appointment to buy a roll of commemoratives. You just have to go to the Banco de España website, bde.es, and from there on you just follow the instructions on the screen to make your own appointment, and make sure to bring along an official piece of identification. And in my case, I used my national ID card, but you can also use your passport. And yeah, then just go there on appointment time, and you'll be let through. This commemorative commemorates the old town of Cáceres, which is located near the border to Portugal. I actually tried to look into whether or not I could visit it, because it would have been really cool to do some filming over there, but unfortunately it was just a bit too far away. And so the actual process of getting this roll was pretty funny, because I had to, there were a lot of armed guards standing outside with submachine guns, and I had to ask them like how to get into the building for an appointment in very broken Spanish. And I had to go through security, and to go through metal detector, I had to put my bag through an x-ray scanner. The interior was very beautiful, but unfortunately I couldn't film it. But yeah, I managed to get a roll, which I'm very happy with. Without anything further to do, let's just get back to the video, and I'll show you where I went next. I'm standing in Plaza de la Provincia right now, and I'm on my way towards Plaza Mayor, which is a beautiful town square in the middle of Madrid, and where I will be meeting someone for a trade. Alright, so here are all the coins which I traded in that in-person trade. So I didn't actually film the trade because I wanted to protect the person's privacy, but massive thanks to TrashGhost367 for this trade. We met in the Eurocoins Discord, link of which is in the description below. I made a community post there just asking people if they wanted to trade with me in Madrid, and he responded, and we negotiated a trade for some Austrian Euro coins and some Austrian Schilling coins. So in case you don't know, the Schilling is the pre-Euro currency in Austria. And I also gave him some key date euros from Lithuania, and one coin from Andorra, and a few other Canadian ones as well. And in return, he gave me all of these coins, and I'm very excited to go through them. You can see some Euro coins in there, you can see some Euro coins and flips, but you can also see some Spanish Peseta coins, which is the Spanish pre-Euro currency. So let me get started by taking out all the flips and going through them. So let's get started with the very first coin in the flip, which is a Spanish coin commemorating 30 years of the EU flag. So this is a joint issue commemorative, which means all the countries in the Eurozone in 2015 issued the coin with the exact same design, but with their country name on the top. You can see España written on the top, and this isn't one that I had yet, and I'm very happy to get it in this condition. So that's a coin which I was very much looking forward to. And I guess next we can talk about what Spain actually commemorates on their €2 coins. So we'll get started with this one here from 2012, commemorating Burgos Cathedral. Burgos is a city to the north of Madrid, and I really like that top-up view of the castle with the gorgeous detail on the coin. We also, I guess we'll get started with this one over here. We also have a coin commemorating Parc Güell. So Parc Güell was built by Antoni Gaudi, who is a very famous Catalan architect, and he built many buildings in Barcelona. One of the most notable ones being the Sagrada Familia, which is still under construction actually after over 100 years. But he also designed the Parc Güell, and this is being commemorated here on this coin. And next up, we actually have two commemoratives which sort of reflect an important period of Spanish and I guess Iberian history as a whole. So this one commemorates the Mosque Cathedral of Cordoba. So Cordoba was the capital of Al-Andalus, which is the name given to the Iberian Peninsula whilst it was ruled by Muslims in the early Middle Ages. And eventually the Christian kingdoms of Spain launched a campaign to reconquer the Iberian Peninsula from the Muslims. And this process of reconquering this territory was called the Reconquista. And so this used to be a mosque. And actually these arches there are actually striped colored, and I'll show a picture on the screen right now. They're very beautiful. But when Cordoba was reconquered, it was turned into a cathedral. Hence it's called the Mosque Cathedral of Cordoba. And right behind that we have the Alhambra. This is located in Granada. And Granada was the capital of the Emirate of Granada, which was the last Muslim stronghold in Iberia. And they surrendered to the Christians in 1492, hence completing the Reconquista. And what I find interesting is that the Alhambra is an example of the legacy they left behind, and that you can still see that in modern-day Spain. The last Spanish commemorative which I got, which was sort of in that main series of commemoratives, is this one right here, commemorating the Church of Santa Maria del Naranco. So this is a church in the northern part of Spain, which was constructed in around the 800s, and it's over 1,000 years old, and it's still standing, which I find pretty cool. So I guess we can sort of talk about what Spain actually commemorates on their coins. So you'll notice these are all buildings, obviously, but specifically, they're all buildings which are UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So Spain commemorates in their main series of coins, starting in 2010, all of its UNESCO World Heritage Sites in the order that they were added to the list. So for example, the very first Spanish UNESCO World Heritage Site was the Mosque Cathedral of Cordoba, so that was commemorated first. Then the Alhambra was added to the list, and so they commemorated the Alhambra in 2011. Then Burgos Cathedral, so in the next year they commemorated Burgos Cathedral. Then 2013 I don't have here, but that was the Escorial, which is a sort of large castle, like palace complex to the north of Madrid, and I heard it's massive, but unfortunately I couldn't visit it. But that was commemorated next, and in 2014, not Parc Güell specifically, but works of Antoni Gaudi, and they just chose Parc Güell as the motif on the coin, and so on. So in the order at which the UNESCO World Heritage Sites were added to the list, once every year Spain commemorates one of their heritage sites. And because Spain has so many UNESCO World Heritage Sites, we know exactly what the motifs of all of the upcoming Spanish commemoratives will be, all the way up to the year 2058. So we have lots of years ahead of us where we can find or trade for some really cool Spanish commemoratives. So that's their main series, but as you may know, every country in the Eurozone can issue 2 commemoratives in a year, and Spain does sometimes use their second commemorative to commemorate other things. And here's an example of one of these commemoratives, commemorating the 500th anniversary since Juan Sebastián Elcano circumnavigated the world in Magellan's expedition. I really like this coin with the portrait of Elcano on it. The Latin text on the bottom here stands for Primus circumderisti me, which stands for first to circumnavigate me, and it refers to the globe in the background. So that was issued just last year, and it's also one of the lower mintage ones. And this year they'll actually again issue a second commemorative, aside from, of course, the Cáceres one right here. Later on in 2023, Spain will actually issue a commemorative commemorating their presidency of the Council of the European Union. The design is not known yet, but, well, we'll look forward to that. We do have some more euro coins in here, all of which are from Spain. So they're in these bags over here. So I'll quickly open the bags and lay them out in front of you so you can have a nice look at them. Alright, so here you can see all of the Spanish regular euro coins I got from the trade. So I'm very, very happy that I'm getting these recent date copper coins in really good condition. I don't know if I said this before, but if you hunt copper coins here in Austria, you know, you get flooded with a bunch of Austrian and German coins, and it's very hard to find coins from other countries, especially if they're in very good condition like this. So I'm very happy that I'm getting a lot of recent dates in really good condition. And yeah, you can even see 2020, 2021, 2022, which I'm very happy with. And even a lot of older ones, which are in pretty good shape as well. So yeah, that is what I'm really happy with. And even with the gold-colored coins, I'm even getting a lot of good recent dates in really good shape, which would take a long time to get here in Austria, simply because they take a while to migrate all the way over to here. So here you can see the 10 cents. I also got a 10 cent 2022, which I'm very happy with right over here. So yeah, that completes all of the Spanish regular euro coins, which I will gladly add to my collection. A massive Spain boost, which I'm really stoked about. And you might not wonder what exactly is on the Spanish coins, and we will talk about that later on in the video. But for now, let's clear out this table and get started with the Peseta coins we got in this trade. So we'll get started with this baggie over here, which has some older pesetas from before the 1940s. So here we actually have a 2 centimos coin from 1912, over 100 years old, and it looks like it's in, well, I mean, it looks like it's in pretty good shape to me. You can still see the coat of arms there. It's a really beautiful coin, and the back of it has King Alfonso XIII on it. And Alfonso XIII, some of the earlier coins, they actually used a portrait of him as a baby on them. So, I mean, you can even see here he looks quite young. I'll show you these coins later on in the video, but it's a really cool and interesting coin, and a nice piece of Spanish history right over here. And another cool coin which I wanted to show you is this 1 peseta coin from 1937. So this coin was actually issued by the Spanish Republic, and you can see right here, República Española. This woman here is supposed to be a metaphor of the Spanish Republic. And 1937, this was during the Spanish Civil War, and you can actually see right over here, I have another coin from 1937, also issued in Spain, but by the Nationalists. So the Nationalists were the faction led by Franco, which ultimately ended up winning the Spanish Civil War. And you can see the phalangist symbol over there with the 5 arrows that's actually on the coin. And the text there on the bottom below the 1937 stands, it says Segundo Año Triunfal, which means the second triumphal year. And yeah, I found that a really cool piece of Spanish history right over here. 2 coins issued in the same year, in the same country, but by 2 different I guess administrations would be a way to put it. Alright, so we're going to take out this next coin. It's a pretty big coin. It's a 50 peseta coin. And on this coin I'll actually show you the Spanish dating system, because the way these coins were actually dated is a little bit unusual, I would say. It's not something you're really used to. So first off, I should mention this coin actually has Franco himself on the coin. You can see Francisco Franco, Caudillo de España por la gracia de Dios, standing for Francisco Franco, leader of Spain by the grace of God. You will see the date right here is 1957, but that's not actually the date when this coin was minted. In order to get the mintage date of this coin, we have to look at the back over here, and right next to the coat of arms you'll see a star, a six-pointed star, and in that star a camera can focus, and you can see 58 is written there, and that was the actual year when this coin was minted, in 1958. So 1957 is only the year when the design for this coin was approved, and in the back the coin was actually minted in 1958, and you can tell by looking at the star. So Spain in the 1950s and 1960s all the way up to 1982 used this I guess curious dating system on their coins, as we will see when we bring about the next bag of coins over here. So here's another example. So once again we have a coin with Franco's face on it, dated 1957, but the actual year that this coin was minted is in this star, which is even smaller on this coin because it's a 5 peseta coin. You can see a small 75 on there, and that's when this coin was minted in 1975. And here we actually have a massive 100 pesetas coin. This actually has Juan Carlos on them instead of Franco, because 1975 is the year that Franco died and Juan Carlos became king. But of course, this was still when while Spanish used that dating system. So to actually get the date that this coin was minted, we just have to look at the stars. By the 100, you can see 1976. So despite the fact this coin was has date 1975 on the front, this is a 100 pesetas coin from 1976, and it's also massive. I'll just grab a €2 coin to compare. But you can see just how big these are. I mean, probably 3, 4, 5 of these would fit in my wallet before it would just be too heavy, or there would just not be enough space. And it's also quite a heavy coin, and yeah, so it's a pretty cool coin. I really like it. Here we have a 1 peseta coin issued in 1988, and in the 90s they actually shrank this coin to this size. So this is a bit of an interesting coin. It's a 1 peseta from it's a 1 peseta from 1991. You can see the date on that, and it's tiny. It's incredibly tiny. It's incredibly light. It has a diameter of 14 millimeters. And in case you don't know, I use this online database for coins called Numista, and Numista actually shows you what your smallest and your largest or your heaviest or your lightest coins are, and this is actually the smallest coin in my collection. The previous smallest coin was 15 millimeters in diameter, and by 1 millimeter this is now the smallest coin in my collection, and it really is absolutely tiny. Just as comparison, you can see how absolutely small this coin is. And when I took it out in Madrid, when I got the trade, I was very nervous about losing this coin, but thankfully I didn't, so I will very carefully put this coin over here and keep an eye out on that. So here we have a 100 pesetas coin issued in 2001, commemorating the final issue of the peseta. So 1869, when the peseta was introduced, going all the way up to 2001, when Spain, the last year the peseta was issued before Spain switched to the euro. This depicts a very famous design of the peseta, namely Iberia reclining between the Pyrenees, which form the northernmost border of Spain with France, and Gibraltar, considered the southernmost part of Spain. So Iberia lying across the entire, well, Iberian Peninsula. So as we'll later see, this design is actually a very old design, but you'll see that later on in the video, which I find really cool that they still use that design all the way up to 2001, but I won't spoil anything. You just have to look forward to that. But yeah, that does complete our trade. I hope you enjoyed this little presentation of Spanish pre-Euro coins. And once again, thank you so much to Trash Ghost for all of these coins. I really enjoyed this trade, and I hope you enjoy my coins as well. And, well, I'll show you what else I did at the market, because that is also pretty interesting. So Mr. Trash Ghost told me to meet him at Plaza Mayor on a Sunday morning, because there'd be a flea market there where you could try to buy some coins. And I went thinking that the flea market would just have 1 or 2 stands selling coins, but as it turns out, nearly the whole flea market was just full of stands selling coins, banknotes, and stamps. So it was a lot of fun just walking around and seeing what was sold, and of course I made a few purchases as well.
Euros de circulación, ¿no? Sí, sí, ahí está.
Now, at this flea market, I actually got a bunch of coins. I made a bunch of purchases for some pretty interesting coins, some NIFC commemoratives, like this one right over here from France, commemorating the Olympic Games. So this is a sort of series, so every single year since 2021, France has issued a coin commemorating the upcoming Olympics, and these are all NIFC, so they're not issued in circulation. They were only issued in these coin cards, and sort of honest opinion, I don't like coin cards, so I just decided to get one that was not in a coin card. So yeah, that was just one of the €2 coins which I got, but the main thing I want to show you that I got, which I'm very happy about, is a 2023 set of Spanish coins. So you can see this is what the Spanish regular circulation coins look like. So the €2 and €1 coin with King Felipe, the 50 cent, 20 cent, and 10 cent with Miguel de Cervantes, and the 5 cent, 2 cent, and 1 cent with the coin with the Santiago de Compostela church on them. And I figured, you know, why don't we just go into a little bit more detail about what these coins actually represent. So let's get started with the Church of Santiago de Compostela. So what is this church? Why is it special enough to make it on these coins? Santiago de Compostela is actually a town in Galicia, which is a region north of Portugal in Spain. The Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela is what is depicted on these coins, specifically its facade of the Obradoiro. Santiago de Compostela is named after James the Great, who was one of Jesus' 12 apostles, and who, according to legend, brought Christianity to the Iberian Peninsula. He is also the patron saint of Spain. In fact, legend also says that James is buried at the cathedral itself, which is why the cathedral is considered noteworthy. And, incidentally, the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And we all know what Spain loves to do with its UNESCO World Heritage Sites, put them on their commemoratives. And we already have a commemorative coin of it. This right here was issued in 2018, and it commemorates the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Santiago de Compostela. Specifically, it commemorates the apostle, St. James, standing underneath one of the arches that is present there. And yeah, this is actually one of the rarest, this is the rarest Spanish commemorative, the lowest mintage one, the hardest to get. Many people have gone to Spain and failed to find it. I, unfortunately, did not find it in circulation either, but I did buy this, so I guess if you might count this as cheating, but personally, I think that is I'm very happy with this purchase simply because it does look really beautiful. So as long as you're happy in the end, that's, I guess, what all that matters. And yeah, I do really love this design, and a lot of people might say this does look proof-like with the way it reflects and the cameo that it has between the statue on the arch and the back field of the coin. Don't get fooled by that. The Spanish mint tends to mint a lot of their circulation coins with a lot of cameo, and yeah, that's sort of very obvious right over here. This is not going to be a proof, although it does look very much like one. But yeah, without anything further to do though, let's put this one aside and talk about the next design on the Spanish coins. Namely, as you can see on the 10, 20, and 50 cent, this person with a feather and his signature reading out Cervantes. So who is Cervantes? Well, as it turns out, he does leave a lot of history behind in Madrid. So why not go there in person while I tell you about who this person is? Right outside the Congress of Deputies, the lower house of Spain, is a prominent statue featuring Cervantes. Miguel de Cervantes was a writer who was born in 1547 and is widely considered to be one of the greatest Spanish literature writers. His most famous work is Don Quixote, a story about a man who, after reading too many books, believes himself to be a knight. Assuming the name Don Quixote, he seeks adventure, often misinterpreting reality as knightly quests, resulting in him finding himself in awkward or dangerous situations. One of the most famous scenes of the book, for example, depicts him charging at windmills, who he believes to be giants. Don Quixote is not Cervantes' only work, but it is his most significant. It was originally written as a humorous parody of the romances at the time. However, the legacy of the book has influenced countless works in many different languages, including in English, and additionally is considered to be the world's first modern novel. And as it turns out, Spain actually did release a commemorative commemorating the story of Don Quixote. As you can see right over here, it depicts the famous knight holding a spear and the giants or windmills in the background which he charged. This was actually Spain's very first commemorative, issued in 2005 before they began the World Heritage Series. So I think it's a very neat coin right over here. And this one is actually quite common. I did find it in Madrid several times, and I didn't keep it simply because it's not that hard to come across, but yeah, that is going to be another commemorative, which Spain actually minted. And of course, last but certainly not least, on Spain's 2023 year set is the king. In this case, the king is King Felipe, but hasn't always been this way. The previous king of Spain was King Juan Carlos. Anyway, it's now time to take the metro yet again. Also, I do have to say, I really like that the metro stations play classical music here.
Próxima estación, O'Donnell.
I do apologize for the shaky cam, but trust me, with my stabilization software, it would have looked way worse. This right here is the Real Casa de la Moneda, or the Royal Spanish Mint. And as it turns out, they have a fantastic museum inside, with a wonderful display of the history of coins in Spain. Most of the museum is in Spanish, but luckily they give you these little booklets, which have a guide in English. This first room is dedicated to ancient coins, like coins from ancient Greece, for example. Some of these coins are very small, and honestly I'm very impressed at how they can manufacture these coins with that amount of detail, especially when they're this tiny. I found this coin quite interesting. It is a sestertius, which is an ancient Roman coin. Look how high the relief of that ear of wheat is on the coin. Here we have some Carthaginian coins, and of course it's hard to miss the incredibly large one right over here. That looks like it's about a centimeter thick. Jumping around a bit, we have a 1 peseta coin from 1870 right over here. Do you recognize the design from the coin I got from the trade? Well, the design is actually much older. Here's a Roman coin depicting reclining Hispania as well. This design is nearly 2,000 years old. Here we can see some Islamic coins issued during the Islamic occupation of the Iberian Peninsula. Here you can see a display of how coins were produced all the way up until the late Middle Ages. The coins were hammered, which means that you placed a metal disc in between two dies and then struck them with a hammer to imprint the design onto the coin. Eventually, hammered coinage was replaced by milled coinage, which is when you use some form of machine to make the coins. And here's a great example of an actual mill being used to strike coins using a circular die. All you have to do is shove a piece of metal in between the two dies, and the coins will be struck on that piece of metal. And here you can actually see some of the dies, which were used to make some of the coins. The coins they produced are massive 50 reales coins, you can see right here. They're beautiful and have really cool complex designs on them. Another thing which caught my eye was this 1770 proof set. Now I've seen old proofs before, but never this old. I really love the design on these silver coins, and especially the cameo. It just makes the coin look so beautiful. Remember the old Spanish coin I got from that trade, depicting a young King Alfonso XIII? Well, if you think he looked young in that portrait, just wait until you see these coins. Alfonso XIII was born in 1886, and it turns out his father actually died while his mother was pregnant, and as a result, he became king immediately after being born. And so some of the coins from Spain in the late 1800s actually show a baby Alfonso XIII on them, which is really interesting. The museum has coins which go all the way up to Spain's recent history. Here you can actually see the 100 peseta coin that I got from the trade. They even display some Euro commemoratives, as you can see right here. But of course, no visit to a museum is complete without a quick look at its gift shop. And I did actually get something from the gift shop. Unfortunately, I did not get a proof set. I do admit that was a little bit on the expensive side with 90 euros, but I did get a proof commemorative, namely one which is issued in a special booklet like this. You can see the motif of the commemorative is a UNESCO World Heritage Site as well, this time in the Canary Islands, the National Park of Garajonay. So, comes in this nice little booklet right over here. The emission is also pretty cool. Emission number 3500. So I guess I got quite lucky on the emission number as well. Has some nice little text there describing what the Garajonay National Park is, and right over here you can of course see the actual proof coin right over here. I guess you can best see the cameo at this angle right over here. And in case you're wondering, here is the other side, as well as a little map showing where the Garajonay National Park is. Here you can definitely see the cameo best. And once again, I'll show you the other side. You can see the mirror-like face that it has, and you can basically perfectly see my reflection and the reflection of the computer that is currently recording this. And as it turns out, I actually have the regular issue Garajonay coin as well, which I got from a trade with someone from Spain quite a while ago, probably last year at this point. Here it is. So you can see the design right over here without the cameo. So this is the regular issue coin. Also, somewhat on the lower mintage side, around 1 million, I'm pretty sure. So in case you don't know, proof coins are coins which were struck in a special way. Often they were struck with dies which resulted in this sort of cameo forming. So cameo is the effect between the design, which makes it frosted, and the field, which makes it nearly mirror-like. And this is more notable on proof coins, although I do have to say a lot of the regular Spanish coins issued for circulation have a lot of cameo on them as well. And as a result, I was always sort of curious about what Spanish proofs actually look like. But here, I guess the difference is very obvious. You can tell that there's a lot of cameo on that mountain compared with here, and on the letters as well. There's a lot of cameo compared to here. Not that much frosting on them. Yeah, it's a pretty cool proof one. So that is my only purchase from the mint, and it certainly was an experience to go there and to see all of the old coins, but to see to also get a proof coin in the end, which I'm very happy about. So yeah, that is going to be it for purchases, and let's get back to the video. Anyway, that does complete this special of my short trip to Madrid. It was a truly wonderful city, and I'm glad to have visited it. If you ever visit, I highly recommend stopping by the Casa de la Moneda. There was so much more in there which I just could not put into this vlog. Otherwise, it would have been over an hour long. Again, massive thanks to TrashKills367 for this trade. Unfortunately, I could not show all the coins in this video because the vlog has already gotten too long. But there were so many other coins from this trade which will now earn a spot in my collection. And if it were not for him, I would have also not known about the flea market on Plaza Mayor. So, thank you very much. And I hope you all enjoyed this little documentary. Thank you all for watching, and, of course, good luck with all of your collections. See you next time.